She broke, she bent, but she never disappeared. She's healing out loud, even when it feels unclear.
You made it, and welcome to Her Way Through the Glow Up Diaries, where healing gets honest, growth gets messy, and every story starts with I'm healing. Today's episode is titled Learning to Be Your Own Safe Place, and the diary is open, and today's guest is bringing a new entry, their truth, their story, and something we can all grow from. They bring an energy that can't be matched. And this guest is someone who is special to me, someone who has been in my life for over 10 years. And while we may not have always been consistent with the communication, we always are there for each other when it matters. And who doesn't love a friend like that? Like, come on. So enough of me rambling. Let me pass it on over to them so they can introduce themselves.
Hi, my name is Victoria. I'm 26 years old. I'm a Capricorn, a mom, a student, and I'm just a girl who, is still navigating womanhood and motherhood and on my own healing journey.
Love that for you. Yes, that is awesome. First question we're going to jump into is what did safety look like for you growing up, and how has that changed now that you're an adult, now that you're a mother? What's the difference?
Safety for me, it looked like just physical safety. Like, okay, I'm in a safe home, a safe environment. So when I was younger, that's what. If you ask me, do you feel safe? I would say yes. Like I feel like I'm physically safe in my environment. It has changed because obviously when you become an adult, you kind of grasp different idea of things and a
We
deeper
do.
idea of things. So now safety is not just about physical safety. It's also
Mm-hmm.
about like emotional safety,
Mm-hmm.
financial safety and all of that. But I'm just gonna
Mm-hmm.
touch on emotional safety. That's like being safe within yourself. Like, do you trust
Exactly.
yourself? Do you
Exactly.
trust the people around you? So that's how that has changed.
So do you feel like with being, I think that was a great way to sum that up, because yes, as a kid I feel safe, like, my mom keeps me safe. No
Mhm.
harm is being done to me. But then as an adult, it is a little different to look at it, because it's like, okay, my mom's not here to keep me safe, so who's keeping me safe now? It has to be
Mhm.
me. And then as far as what you said, as far as emotional safety and financial safety, all those are things that you have to think about as an adult. But
Mhm.
how do you feel like safety look for you as being like a mother?
Um, Being able to trust my instincts and knowing that regardless of the situation, I feel safe within the decisions that I make for me and my child, me and my family,
Exactly.
myself. Because you have to think about, like, in order for you to be a good mom, you have to be a good person. This is what I think. I know, the world is different, everybody has their own opinions, but that's what I think.
I think I honestly I can agree. I think there's some mothers out
Mhm.
there who agree as well. Like for me, if I'm thinking about it, that's the hardest part for me, far as like just trusting that I'm doing what's best for my kid, and just like I'm doing the safest option. I think that's the hardest part for me as a mother. And I don't know
Mhm.
why that's so hard, but it is. How do you know it's the right choice?
I don't think you ever really know. Like, I think it's just a feeling. I think it's the feeling that you get, no matter what somebody else says or how somebody else may feel. At the end of the day, I'm the one that carried my child for 9 months, and I
Exactly.
feel like this is the best decision for
Exactly. That's a
us.
great
Yeah.
way to put it. I love that.
Mhm.
Was there a time you realized something fell off emotionally for you around certain people?
So it did always feel off as a kid. to me that like I kind of like because I wasn't raised by my parents. I was raised by my grandma. I guess I never really made a deal out of it, but like it always felt off as to why like in my household like we didn't give each other hugs. Like that was like we weren't emotional, like affectionate.
Mm.
I didn't think it was weird when I was a kid, but as an adult, I like wow. I think that is kind of,
That is
that's kind
so
of
funny
off.
you said that because I was just about to ask you that. Sometimes when you're a kid and you just doing your norm, like that's all you've been shown, that's all you've been taught, that's all you've seen. And that moment, did it feel weird? Like, did it start feeling weird for you when you met other families and how they do things or whatever? Or did it always internally feel somewhat like, this a little off?
So me and you, we've been friends in high school. So when I like started coming around you and your family, and I seen how you guys' dynamic were, like you and your mom, y'all are like so close. Like your mom is like your best friend. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So obviously, like the affection, the emotional connection is there. So that's
yeah,
when I started to realize, okay, like yeah, like this is off, but then also I can't really place blame on my grandma because she's not my mom. Like she was my grandma,
right,
she's somebody else's mom, she's my dad's
right.
mom. So, but that's when I started to question, like, it was kind of off to me. Like it's like why?
Yeah, that makes sense though. That makes sense, and I
Mhm.
think that happens for a lot of people because like you said, when you're living in that's your norm, like that's your life, that's all you know. Then when you meet
Mhm.
other people and you see their dynamic, and then you start to be like, wait, hold up, we don't do that in my household. Like, like that's a
Mhm.
little different. And sometimes it could be a positive thing or it could be a negative thing because all households are different. But I
Right.
feel like we all have something internally that we know that we feel like it should look like, far as family, your idea of family or your idea of closeness. Because I always looked at you as a person who was just very touchy and like and and I mean that in the nicest way possible because there's nothing wrong because I love you. But like I always looked at you as a person that was just very emotional, very emotional feel. And that was
Mhm.
different for me because while me and my mom has a great relationship. For those who don't know, my mom, that's my girl. Shout out to her.
Mhm.
Besides that, I never felt like we were what you say, like touchy. We just wasn't that. Like, yes, me and my mom
Mhm.
are close, but we don't hug all the time. we don't we don't do none of that. And so like meeting you and seeing that you're that type of person, it was different. It wasn't like a negative different. It was just like, oh, okay,
Mhm.
it's people out here that just are like that, and there's nothing wrong
Mhm.
with it though. It was just a different realization for sure.
Mhm.
It really was. Okay, so how did you start building that safety within yourself once you became an adult?
So I had to learn that first of all, you gotta set boundaries for yourself. Once you do get to that level where you trust yourself and you trust that you, as an adult, as a person, you can make good decisions for yourself, you have to set boundaries because people around you can try to project certain things and certain
Yes.
situations onto you. Um,
Yes.
and when that happens, I just think you have to be able to identify it and know that like, okay, thank you, but no thank you. Just set those
Yes.
boundaries, like,
Yes,
you know.
saying no, but in a nice way. I feel like a lot
Mhm.
of people look at saying no as something negative, and
Yeah.
that's not the case all the time. I mean, sometimes you may do need to say a no, and it be like that's just what it is, whether it's negative or not. Every time you say no is not a negative. Sometimes you need to say no for your peace and for your sanity. And I just feel like
Yeah.
it's not looked at as like saying no. People don't say no enough, even when they know they don't want to, or even when they know that that's what they want to say, but they don't want to be looked at as a certain way.
Yeah, I think it's a people pleasing mentality, and I think being a people pleaser, I think that's a toxic trait. And
Oh, for
I just
sure.
feel like you have to be a people pleaser around the people that you're around, then I don't know if that's the right people for you because you should not have to compromise yourself and what you like really want out of life to appease somebody else.
You should
So
not. You should
yeah.
not.
for sure. When old habits, well, how do you stay on track to keep, your boundaries, like you say that you had to set? How do you make sure you stay and on course with that?
I stay mindful. Just make sure that I'm always keeping, like, I know, like, people say to, like, leave the past in the past.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. Like, I can get it in a sense where, like, don't dwell on it, but
Yeah.
also remember that the old you is kind of what got you to where you are at. So be mindful of those old habits, like the bad old habits
Yes.
that you used to have, and just be mindful of how it made you feel or what it made you do. And
Mm-hmm.
just remember, like, hey, like, this is where I am today. So that I don't indulge in whatever those bad habits were, I'm going to be mindful of that and, not entertain it.
I love that. I think that's a great way
Hmm.
to make sure that you stay on track, because with being human, it's unrealistic to think that you're not going to sometimes falter and go back to
Hmm.
how you used to do things, or how you used to look at things, or how you even used to perceive things. But
Hmm.
if you stay mindful, like you said, and just staying on course, like, okay, that was the old me, but this is what it is now, and this is what it's going to be going forward, you should be able to stay course. With that being said, how do you show up for yourself now?
I show up for myself by I go to the gym.
Love that.
I keep up with my personal appearance. I take a break from social media if I need to. Like, I went a whole 2 years off of Instagram,
Hmm.
and those are things that I'll do to make sure that. What's the question again?
See, wait, hold up. That threw me off. I thought you was off. You was flowing.
I know, like,
Oh
but
my
I could.
god.
Oh my god, yeah.
Okay, the question was, what does it look like when you show up for yourself now?
Right, right. Okay, got it. Okay. Staying true to myself. Like, I've always been a person who was grounded and not like not easily like impressed or
Hmm.
impressionable. So just staying true to myself and my core values, and knowing what I want out of life, which is I want to be the best version of myself. So
Period.
it's like major like self improvement, like going to the gym, keeping up with your physical appearance,
Yes.
eating good, like stuff like that.
And honestly,
Integrity.
people going to the gym makes you feel so good. I don't think, for all the people who don't go to the gym, or who feel like, oh, I can't go to the gym, try it at least once, one time, and then see how that make you feel afterwards. Because for me, far as, because I'm also in the gym as well, and for me, when I go to the gym, even if I have a lot going on, or my mental is just all over the place, or whatever the case may be, when I go to the gym, after I finish my workout, you feel great. You
Mhm.
truly do. You truly do. It's literally like a stress reliever. And I can understand why when people be like, oh, I could get addicted to the gym. And before, that never made sense to me, because I'm like, okay,
Mhm.
how could you be addicted? But I can understand how you could, because it makes you feel good. Because when you feel good, when you look good, you feel good. When you feel good, you look good.
Amen. Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
self care. People don't
Mhm.
do enough self care.
They don't. And when like women become mothers, they just completely lose themselves. And I
Oh,
hate
for
to see it. I
sure.
don't like to see it. I really don't, because like I just don't feel like you should ever let motherhood completely consume your life. Like, I do not think anybody should do that, because you have to be you have to be your whole self. And if you're not if you're neglecting yourself because you're somebody's mom, like,
Right.
then your child is not going to get your whole self, and
Not
I
reaping the
think
full
they deserve
benefits, for
that.
sure. Oh,
Yeah.
for sure. And I think this is my opinion, y'all. Don't shoot the messenger. I think that mothers get into the notion of like, oh, I'm a mother, I'm a mother, I'm a mother, I'm a mother. Yes, that is who you are. And motherhood is a part of you, but it's not. the whole you. Once you become a mother, it's like, okay, I'm a mother. I got this kid. I'm responsible for everything. And then like, older people don't make it no better because then when you talk to them, all you hear about is like, your main focus should be raising your kid. And it's like, yes, that is my focus. That will always be a focus. But
Hmm.
let's stop to think about like sometimes that is not enough for me to maintain my mental space. Like, okay, I'm a mother and
Right.
I get up and I take care of my kid, but what else?
Right. No, seriously, and I get pushback sometimes about like, oh, I'll go play when I like want to just go out by myself and just want to be Victoria. Like I get pushback about it, like, oh well, where's he at? Where's your son? And it's like he's at home with his dad. Like, duh,
Okay,
like
like
that's his son too. Like,
period. Definitely his kid too. Going on to the
definitely.
next question, do you think being your own safe place means doing everything alone, or is it a balance?
No, yeah, I think it's a balance because I think when you do everything alone, you it becomes like isolation, and you don't have to
Yes,
isolate yourself from people.
you
All you have
don't.
to do is just set healthy boundaries with them, and just stand your ground. Like advocate for yourself. Like
Period.
this is our life. Like, like this is my
Okay.
life.
That is so funny because that made me think of this quote. It was just like, this is it pertains to like relationships, but I feel like it could pertain to your life as well. And the quote said, like, how you gonna be mad because I don't love you anymore? Like, this my heart. Like, and exactly that. And you could
Hmm.
pretend that to your life. Like, how you gonna be mad? This is what I'm choosing to do with my life. This is my life. Like,
Right. Yeah.
period.
Yep.
That's I love that. So, what affirmations or reminders help you stay grounded when you're feeling shaky or low?
There's always light at the end of the tunnel. That's my
Period.
biggest one. That's my biggest one.
Really?
Yeah, because it's been true. Like it's always been true for me. It's always going to happen in life where there's going to be a period where like things is not going so smooth. And I feel
Yeah.
like as humans, we should kind of expect it. I'm not even gonna lie. Like I feel like you should expect, like, because everything can't go smooth forever. Like you gotta expect a
It's not a
little.
fairy tale.
Yeah, you gotta expect something. So I just think that when you do expect it, you is good. Like you'll handle it better because you're a little bit prepared, even though you don't know what it is, but you just know it's
Yeah.
gonna be something.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be easier for you to like handle it. And then while you're in it, just know like, hey, it's light at the end of that tunnel. Like once this happens, this is going to be there for you. Like it's gonna get better. So that's the biggest one for me.
Oh, I keep hearing like, oh, okay, there's light at the end of this tunnel. There's light at the end of the tunnel, and it's like, okay, I hear you saying it, but how I don't see the light. Like I don't see it. I don't see it in the future. I don't feel like it's coming. So
Mm.
how do you still maintain to keep that notion like, okay, this always like that in the tunnel, even like when you're in it, like in the thick of it?
I think having gratitude. I don't know, like, cause I remember, like a couple years ago, after my most biggest breakup of my life, I
Hmm.
just was like so sad. I was so sad, and
Yeah.
breakups are so hard because you get out of one,
Yeah.
you just feel like you're not worth anything. Like you feel like you're not worthy
Yes.
of love. So
Yes.
once I started, and then I realized like at the end of the day, like this did happen and it does hurt, but you have to be like you have to literally express gratitude for every single thing in your life. Even for the breakup, like it's express gratitude. Like just have like stay positive.
Yeah.
Like be thankful. Like just
So just for having an open mind about it.
right, because at that point after that, everything that you put into the universe is what you get back. And I swear,
Yes, I
I was
believe
just
that.
I
Yes.
believe it too, and I seen it happen. I seen it happen. So I just started having gratitude. Like I was sad and I was bitter about it,
Mm-hmm.
but I was also it also gave me the opportunity to look at life differently and
Mm-hmm.
start to put out positive things, and I was starting to get that back. So even though I think that's why the saying, like, it's always like at the end of the tunnel is, essential to remember, because I just think it's true. Like, I don't know, like,
See, like at the end of the day, just believe it because it's true. Like, and I feel, and I feel that because it's not that I don't believe it. I do believe. Like, I know it's unrealistic to think that you're going to stay in this space, like whatever, if it's a hard, especially if it's a hard space and it's something that's emotionally draining to you. It's unrealistic to think that you're going to stay in that space forever. I mean,
unless you're contributing to it,
right, exactly,
or choosing to stay. Because, like,
exactly.
I think that's why it was the way it was, is because I literally was choosing, like, I was literally like stabbing my own self in the back by
Yes,
like staying.
yes.
You gotta, get out of it. Like, I think unless you choose to do it, then that's when it's realistic. But
For real, for real, because I was just about to say that, like, okay, it's unrealistic to think that you're going to stay in that spot, but it's also you got to make sure that you're putting in the work to get up out that spot as well.
mhm,
Like, you can't just stay in it and think like, oh, it's going to be light at the end of the tunnel when
no.
nothing been showing you that it is going to be there. Like, this person or this situation is showing you like it's nothing but turmoil, and you're just
Mhm.
choosing to stay or choosing to stay in it. It doesn't have to be in a relationship. It could be with any situation. It could be living in something. It could be anything. If you choose to stay in toxicity or a negative thing, it's bound to keep being negative. It's very rare that it come out like, oh, it's so positive and I stayed. Like,
Yeah.
so what advice would you give to someone who's starting to realize they don't feel safe?
Go to therapy.
Period. Yes, mental
Just like
health.
that. And I know that in the black community that is so taboo. I don't
It
know why.
is. It
But yeah, no,
is.
go to therapy. Like, get help. Because unlearn those ways, like, unlearn it. You gotta unlearn all of that stuff that you went through. You have to
Period.
unlearn that so it
You
doesn't go into your
do.
next chapter. Yeah.
Yes, if I could clap, yes, because that was perfect advice. Yes, 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 yes. You have to unlearn whatever you just went through. It's unrealistic to think again that you could go into something else and not bring whatever you just been through, especially if you've been in that situation for over a few years.
Yeah. Because all
That's
people are gonna look at you. You're gonna be labeled as damaged goods.
for
Damaged
sure.
goods. Yeah.
So,
Nope.
how has becoming your own safe space change the way you show up in all your relationships, not just with your man, but like with your sister or your mom or your grandma?
So it just kind of brought clarity to everything. Like, it made me see a lot of things and a lot of traits and a lot of people for what it is. And
Yes,
you know, I can say that, like, I am really happy with everybody that I have in my life. I think that's what it has done. It has given me the ability to see clearly. I don't think of the word. It's
like
given me,
appreciation for them.
yeah, yeah, and it's given me, like, I feel empowered to no longer have to seek validation from others
Period.
anymore. Like, I don't have to look to anybody for validation. I validate myself.
And
Like,
do.
say if I, yeah, like if something is happening and you're questioning yourself, and then you get on the phone and call
Hmm.
somebody, like, "Hey, I don't need to do that anymore. Getting their validation, I can do that for myself."
I love that for you. Cause I known you for a few years now, I would say it's over like 10 years. No,
Mm-hmm.
okay,
I
so
think it is like
yeah,
20. Yeah.
yeah, like so I know Vicky for a while now. To be honest, hearing you say this is so I love that for you, and I'm so proud of you. Like you came a long way from when I first met you to who you are now. Like, oh my God, you're stepping into your womanhood and your motherhood and gracefully, and I just love that for you.
Oh my goodness, thank you. And you would know, like, you would know because you see me, like, during those rough times, like, so you definitely would know, like, because you
Eh,
experienced those times where I was emotional burden to my friends.
Sure, but no, y'all, she has grown so much from when I first met her. And mind y'all, I met her when I was in 10th grade. So I'm assuming that's like what, how old was I? Like, how
16.
old? Yes, okay, yes. I was around that age, like 16. And we're 25, 26 now, y'all. So it's like to hear that, to go from 16 when I met her and how she was then and to now and hearing her talk now, it's just amazing because all she's doing is elevating into her next version of herself. And I love that for her.
Well, thank you.
All right, y'all. I already know that somebody listening felt every word of this conversation or was in their car like, yes, period. And do. But guess what? Vicky's not done. She will be back for part 2 where we talk about why I had to grieve the childhood I deserve, which is what the title is called for next episode. And trust me, if you love this episode, you're going to love next episode. So you might want to tune in. If you're listening right now and this episode hit home, what's your truth? What part of this entry did you feel in your body? Share it in the comments, tag us in your story, or DM the page because your story matters. No matter what page of healing you're on, you're not alone and you're not behind. Keep going through it, keep growing through it, and keep glowing through it. And I'll see you next episode.
She broke, she bent, but she never disappeared.